Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and it seems we have actually some good news for once. Antifa was caught and charged with domestic terrorism. It's about time. Let's get directly into the article here. 5 Antifa members are charged with domestic terrorism. Cops swoop on Atlanta autonomous zone and find explosive after locals were ambushed in homes set alight. The site of the planned center has been the focal point of protests for months by Antifa who are referred to the site, which protesters have made an autonomous zone as Cop City. Okay, well, that was actually pronounced right. Many of those who were arrested were holed up in tree houses where police later recovered explosives. Prior to Tuesday's arrest, my God, what is wrong with me? Okay, I cannot speak English. Okay, let's start. Police detained several people at the site for crimes including destruction of property and arson, along with carjacking and attacks on locals and government officials. The official reasoning for the protest, according to a report from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, is environmental concern for the Wheeland Forest. The center would cut the 381 acres of the woods. Among the photos documenting the protest is an image of a group of ski mask-clad protesters standing over a truck with a banner reading "No Forest, No Peace, Truck the Police," as well as a smaller sign that read "No Cop City." Those arrested have been named as Serena Hartel, 25, of California. Of course, they're from California. What an amazing surprise. Nicholas Olson of Nebraska. Francisco Ocarao, 22, of Maine. Arian Robinson, 22, of Wisconsin. And Leonardo Villasel of Marco, Georgia. Earlier this week, the GBI said that protesters had begun attacking police and other emergency services workers at the scene with rocks and bottles. After officers cleared the area, they recovered bombs, flares, and gasoline. Authorities said multiple crimes occurred on Saturday when the local fire department was called to the scene to extinguish a dumpster fire. Richard Porter told WXIA that he was set upon the group when attempting to pick up some scrap metal from the area. Porter said that the members of the group threw things at him, including a gas bomb. He fled, leaving his truck behind, which was burned out. Porter told the channel, "It seemed to me like they were going to burn the truck with me in it." Viocel is the only member of the group is from the area where the public safety center is being constructed. Authorities used tear gas and pepper balls to clear the protesters from the scene. On the day of the arrest, the Atlanta Community Press Collectives wrote on Twitter, tree sitters report that they are surrounded and being tear gassed by police. While represented from a group supporting the protest, the Atlanta Solidarity Fund told agency that those arrested were legitimate political protesters. Maryland courts continue. There's clear evidence to the contrary that the people they have been arresting and targeting and attacking have been engaged in nothing but peaceful civil disobedience. Yeah, peaceful civil disobedience. Yeah, of course they are. Let's rewind back to the many of times to where they set things on fire when the protest actually ended up happening. That 19 to 25 people were killed, businesses were burned down, people's lives were ruined because peaceful protests. Yeah, of course. The group said that dozens of police officers and undercover cops descended on the scene. After the initial arrest, officers began coming through the woods to clear anybody and everybody, a local official told AJC. It goes on to say, convictions of domestic terrorism carry with it sentences of anywhere between 5 to 35 and 35 years in prison. The group is being held at DeKalb County Jail. DeKalb County District Attorney Sherry Boston said in a statement, "I strongly believe in the right to peacefully protest for what one believes is right and just. However, I draw the line at violence, destruction of property, and threatening and causing harm to others." She added, "My office will always stand up to protect the citizens of DeKalb County. The alleged acts of violence at the training facility site put the public in grave danger and will not be tolerated." 100% agree. I think a lot of people were put in grave danger. A lot of businesses were destroyed. A lot of people got killed. And, of course, the media and the far left want to say, oh, it's just peaceful protest. When obviously, when you can see a fire from, 50 feet in the air, and it seems like it's a quarter of the city on fire, yeah, that's not a peaceful protest. That's a riot at that point. And in a tweet, Georgia Republican Governor Brian Kemp said, "We will not rest when it comes to bringing domestic terrorists to justice, and these arrests should serve as a strong reminder of that." In addition to the domestic terrorism charges, the group are accused of criminal trespass, interference with government property, and aggravated assault. Francis Carroll is facing the most charges in the case. He's a resident of the affluent Maine town of Kennebunkport, where famously George H.W. Bush spent his summers following his residency. Hurdle is a graduate of the Pitzer College, where she majored in environmental analysis and math in 2020. An online bio describes her interests as public health and environmental justice, with a focus on prisons and water. Opponents of the training center have been protesting for months by building platforms and surrounding trees and camping out at the site. They said that the $90 million project, which would be built by Atlanta Police Foundation, involves cutting down so many trees that it would environmentally be damaging. They also oppose investing so much money in what they call Cop City, which they say will be used to practice urban warfare. The 85-acre property is owned by the city of Atlanta, but is located just outside the facility limits in unincorporated DeKalb County and includes a former state prison farm. Just as an attempt was made to remove barricades entrances to the site, firefighters and police officers were attacked with rocks and incendiary weapons, Boston said. Once the area was cleared, police found explosive devices, gasoline, and road flares, the GBI said. In the email to news outlets, opponents of the training facility said that the police used extreme and unjustified measures against them, including tear gas canisters and pepper bullets. Jesus Christ. The Atlanta City Council voted in September 2021 to tease the land to the Atlanta Police Foundation. The training center would include a shooting range, classrooms, a mock village, an emergency vehicle driving course, stables for police horses, and a burn building for firefighters to practice at putting out fires. The vote came after weeks of protests from people who opposed the complex. Well, there you have it. Finally arrested and finally charged. But here's one thing I'm going to say for this in particular. This should have been done a long time ago. And these people cause irreparable harm to a lot of people. And it's not just these guys, but also BLM. I think BLM was also a major issue in this, and I want to say in today's society, and they need to be rightfully punished. I've seen a man get beat to death for God's sake. Like, the ridiculous needed to stop a long time ago. And we have fools that believe that, it's just a peaceful protest or whatever. Or, just because, George Floyd, he died, that it was okay to start protests and destroy people's homes, destroy people's businesses and stuff like that, and ruin other people's lives because of one man passed away. Or died wrongfully by cops. Which I would agree that they got rightfully punished. But we can't just go out and just start starting riots and causing people harm. And we all know the media did this. They protected this. They said it was fine. And that was the bigger problem. But at least we got to see some justice happen. And that they were at least charged. But how long will they stay in jail? That is to be for a later day. Alright guys, that's it for the video. Like, subscribe, share. As always, take care.